All right, welcome to Pass the Mic. It is Friday, November 7th, 2025, episode 184, not on Zoom. We are on Spotify's in-house podcasting app, and so far we're hoping this is working. Mike Gervasi, hello.
Hey, so question, top left there, it says Riverside. What is that?
Riverside, isn't that a bar in Trenton?
Well, I'm thinking, and you won't know this, and Aaron,
Oh, it's the hospital I was born in.
Well, no,
that's what
not
it is.
Riverside. So, no, come on, man. Hey, Aaron, well, we'll get to Aaron in a second. Back to Mike. Max and Kent Secor will understand this. Deontay, Antoine, yelling out Compton, but you moved to Riverside. Famous line in a song by Ice Cube. So, again, you're not familiar. Ice Cube, if you don't know, O'Shea Jackson, rapper.
I was born in Riverside Hospital in Trenton.
Oh, it is called
Riverside. Not there anymore.
No, it's gone down.
Probably
joining us, Erin Torres. Welcome to the Pass the Mic podcast.
Hey, Erin.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
It's great to have you, Erin. How long before Mike mentions his TikTok? Over under 3 minutes.
I'm going to give him 15 minutes at the most.
Okay, all right.
As somebody who has filmed many of his TikToks.
Yes.
Including the one that has how many views?
51,000 plus.
Just saying. Must be the camera work.
Erin has been with us from the beginning. She created the show logo. By the way, it's November. I should really switch the...
Yeah, it's time.
It's time to put the Christmas logo. Mariah Carey's ready. The one that actually has our characters. Erin does a great job with that. You want to just give us a little 30-second blurb? Because, again, the education topic is going to be all about you anyway. Erin, tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Yeah, so I am a teacher at Carlson. I actually graduated from Carlson, who both of these guys were a teacher in some aspect to me when I was a student. So I graduated from Carlson. Now I teach science and computer science there. I coach cross country and track and do all sorts of stuff. I encouraged the two of them to start this and have been with them the whole time.
Question. So your logo for Christmas, are we going to stick with that one, or are you going to come up with something new?
We've talked about this every single year. If we're going to change something, we're going to update something, and it never happens.
No, I want to keep the Christmas logo, but we talked about possibly changing the main logo.
We did. You're right.
That's what I think we're going to do.
All right, I'm down.
Yeah, because we don't want to. We'll stick with the Christmas one. All right. Feedback and errors from last week. Ren Dog record time again, right? With the feedback, Mike.
Yes, he keeps.
And he said something about Kennedy Kropupchik wanted to beat. She fell asleep or something. What was the story? Kropupchik, she got in there and writing.
She did not make it through the entire episode. She fell asleep. I'm trying to go back to that one. It was a while ago, but she did not make it through the entire episode. She fell asleep before it ended. So I guess we're not that entertaining after all.
I guess it wasn't that great of an episode. Fell asleep to it. But Rendog did notice I posted an Instagram shot, more on my social media, of the football game, and he recognized Gary Bailey up over my shoulder in the press box in the reflection of the picture. And the Rendog caught that.
Those two are two peas in a pod, man.
Max gave us some great feedback again, as we mentioned. He had some technical difficulties. I mean, who knows what our technical difficulties are going to be with this episode? I don't even know what's going on. I'm telling you right now, it looks like this may be uploading as we speak. If I hit submit and end, it may just end and the episode may be out there on Tuesday at 9 o'clock. I don't know what's going on.
We're becoming like the Warrior Way podcast is what you're saying.
Let me tell you something else this feature has. We can go live, Bill O'Reilly style.
Do it live.
And people could watch and comment as we go on these episodes.
All right. So, hey, let me also, I wanted to mention, this is from the Rendog. Kennedy Prokupchik texted me at 12:10 a.m., got underway listening to the podcast, and then fell asleep 7 minutes in trying to beat my time. So 7 minutes was what.
The Rendog spike into football.
All right. So my only feedback for me, well, two actually. Antoine, congratulations on 4 years of Pass the Mitch. And then, well, Max commenting on Peyote versus comedians. That's just how it goes.
Tale as old as time.
Yeah. Gary Bailey, when people rip, he put it in quotes, you and ask you to be on the podcast. Perhaps they feel it'll make the show better. Just saying, but who cares? And then best 90s lyric, I like a good beer buzz early in the morning. Sheryl Crow.
Oh, great song.
Best 60s lyric, when you got nothing to lose. My opinion, but who cares? I don't know if Gary is referring to how he didn't care about what we thought. I brought that up because I still think it's the funniest line.
It's a great moment. Great moment.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we're going to do our stock questions that we always have of our guests. And I think Erin clarified something. Did you talk to Mike about his question?
Yes, we talked about it.
We talked.
Yes, that's been cleared up.
We'll get to that in a second, though.
That's been an error. I think I just haven't said anything over the last couple of episodes with guests, because if you go back to the originals with guests, we've had people that have picked. I'll leave it because mine's much easier. Erin, it's your birthday. You can have any meal you want, home cooked, out to eat. What are you having?
I am doing a home cooked meal. My mom is making it, and it is her goulash that she makes me. It's been my favorite ever since I was a kid.
Okay.
Nice. So it's home cooked.
Home cooked. My mom's making it.
And she does. Is this something she does still to this day?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Like my birthday, when we do something, it's always like, you want goulash or do you want barbecue? So that's a very normal thing that happens.
Nice. Interesting choice. That's definitely the first time I've heard that one.
Mike, you got to stop pausing whatever you're doing over because I keep thinking you're freezing out and then you talk again. So this is this is all sorts of messed up right now. We're all out of sorts.
I'm feeling a lot of press box vibes right now, guy.
Go ahead, Mike. I won't pause.
I'm in the middle of the two of you yet again.
Yeah, you're right. So, all right, Erin, we're going to go off. And you know what? Maybe we'll just change it up completely. And we'll just do this permanently now whenever we have a guest. If you could have dinner with, you're eating this goulash, one person alive or dead, who you having dinner with?
I am having dinner with my grandpa Wilkin. He died when I was very little, and I feel like I remember all of my other grandparents, so like the way that my parents are explains a lot to me, but I don't remember my grandpa Wilkin because I was super young when he died, and so I think it would just be really interesting to get to talk to him, and like it would explain so much, and like just get to know like what my dad was like when he was little, and you know, see how those relate because he's the one person that I don't really remember.
Okay. Can I, I'm going to plug something somebody told me. I think Mike's frozen again. Oh, there we go.
I'm not frozen.
I know. That was a joke. Sorry, we're wasting a lot of airtime here with jokes. So anyway, I want to plug Evelyn. And if I told her to call in next week. I don't suspect she's going to, but she had a really good one for who she'd like to have dinner with. You ready for this? And we won't even dive too deep into it, or we can. But if she calls in, we can let her elaborate on it. Her future self.
Ooh,
I like that.
I thought that was neat. I thought that was really cool.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Get some good sports bets, too.
Hey, if you did that, you make a lot of money. You could TikTok everywhere at that point.
Yeah, man, we could. All right. Great answers, Erin. Great answers. And again, I do like the home cooked meal. I do like, and by the way, the whole mess of this was when we originally started this question, it was guests could be dead or alive. For some reason, Mike changed that in the last like third of our guests that they had to be alive. So we apologize to Jessica Schultz and anyone else that we said they had to be alive because back when it first started, it was either or. Because I know we've had other people that have picked people that have been long gone.
Honestly, I felt like you kind of bullied me into that somehow, but I don't remember specifically when. But I'll take the blame. I'm a man of responsibility and accountability, so I'll accept the blame, even though I just deflected it. But anybody that's been on the show that wants to maybe have a retraction of some sort and adjust, yes, you're more than welcome to do so. We'd love to hear from you.
Mike of the week, Erin, who do you have? Can be anyone, even someone that we've had. Who do you got?
Okay, my Mike of the week is Michael Johnson. He was, and I don't remember if you guys have done this one. I feel like you haven't. He was the American sprinter. He was an Olympic champion 4 times and world champion 8 times. He held the world record the Olympic record in the 200 and 400, as well as the indoor 400 and the 300 for a while. Picked him in honor of my coaching.
Yes, your track / cross-country coaching career. Michael Johnson, the athlete, not the Speaker of the House that hasn't worked in over 2 months.
Correct.
It hasn't been 2 months, though, right? It's been...
Oh, it's something like that. I don't know. I guess the House is on reset. I mean, what a great gig if you can get it.
They're working on it. And Big party at Mar-a-Lago the other day too. That was
Yes,
that looked like a lot of fun.
You said I have picked him. Remember, I picked the other Michael Johnson.
Yeah, you did.
All right, education topic this week. We, of course, it's all about you. We want to talk I want to talk. We want you to talk about your career coming back. I sort of do want to ask you about that because I sort of lived that much earlier than you did, coming back and working. And we have a number of people. We've talked about this before. Evie, you, Crystal Fowler, Dawn Wynn. There's lots of us that have done this, but all at different stages. So I want to hear a little bit about what that was like coming back. I want to know if you were like me, if you thought this could have ever happened. Like when I left Carlson, I never thought it could happen. There was no way. Like it wasn't even on my radar. So why don't we start with that? Just how you got brought back here, how that works out, and I guess Mike and I will both some other questions for you as well.
Yeah, so I was lucky enough that once I graduated, I was still coaching at Carlson a decent amount. When I was in college, I was coaching softball and volleyball throughout my student teaching. And when I decided to become a teacher, like the only place that I could really picture myself teaching was Carlson, maybe because that was like the school atmosphere that I knew, but that was the only real place that I could ever picture myself at. And when I graduated, it was still quite difficult to get teaching jobs. I graduated in the winter, and so I did substitute teaching at Carlson and Shoemate. I really only did it for the teachers that I knew, but I did substitute teaching for the second half of the year. And at the time, Bill Stevenson was still our principal, who was the principal when I graduated. And, he was kind of like, yeah, I'm sorry, we don't have anything open. And I got a teaching job at a charter school just outside of Dearborn. I was still coaching a little bit on and off at the time. I was helping with youth basketball and stuff like that. And at the end of the year, after my second year at the charter school, Mike Quinn actually called me and he was like, hey, there's a job open. And then Max texted me and was like, hey, your job's ready. Like, make sure that you apply. And I applied and I talked to Mike Quinn about it and I talked to Bill Stevenson and they're like, yeah, absolutely. Come interview. And I did my interview. And then next thing I knew, Bill offered me the job. And unfortunately, there was lots of legalities to me getting the job. There was waiting for some movement to happen. So I actually had to go the entire summer waiting on the official offer. I actually started PD back at my old school for a week. Bill called me and was like, we really need you to come to our PD even though you're not hired yet. I came to Carlson's PD for a day and missed the PD
Free
at my
agent.
other school. And so that's kind of where it all started. I started in science. The super cool thing was that a lot of my teachers are still there at the point. It was before the buyout and everything kind of happened. So my mentor was Mike Clementi, who was my physics teacher. I still had all sorts of people there that I knew that was really, really cool for a year. And then the buyout happened and most everybody besides some of the younger people that started right when I was graduating left. But before that, it was super cool to have everyone who was my teachers there. It was definitely an adjustment. I don't know that I ever called Mike Clementi by his first name. I don't know that I ever called Clark by his first name. Peyote, I don't know that I still have ever called you by your first name or Travasi, because there's just things that, you're used to. So.
Yeah, and the thing is, I came back and I worked with Mike Clementi for a number of years. He was my physics teacher. You get used to calling a lot of people just by their last name, and then that way you don't ever get into that weird thing of, what you have to call them by. And that's basically the standard of what it is, right?
Yep.
So if I may add, and then I have a question for you, and maybe you could elaborate on it. I actually went through the exact same experience you did a little bit earlier. The difference was I had been at Carlson 1 year, was let go, and then had hired on at a charter school, and was called. Tracy Richardson actually called me for an interview late in the game. The day I was supposed to report to the charter school, I got the call. Well, the night before, I got the call from Tracy saying you got the job. So I had to report to the school. And these people have been wonderful to me. So I felt like an obligation to do it in person. And there was 3 principals there. 2 of the 3 were like, hey, man, good for you. Third one I thought was going to hit me because I can imagine how he felt. You got to do another. But so I totally get what you went through. Now, my question for you, correct me if I'm wrong, if maybe I'm misremembering this. Didn't you have so there was a lot of hard times economically for a lot of public school districts, not just ours, but at that time, weren't you uncertain after your first year? Didn't you have some uncertainty if you were going to come back?
Yeah, it was my first year, the end of my first year was where we were talking about the deficit elimination plan and
Sure.
everything that we were on. And Bill called me in his office and told me that he was being told that he had to pink slip or lay off a certain amount of people to make a X amount of dollars. I don't remember what it was. And he was like, unfortunately, you're the lowest seniority. And I was like, hey, I get it. That sucks, but that's fine. And he was like, you know what? He said, but like, I'm just going to tell him to lay me off. He was like, that'll make up all the difference. Don't worry about it. And I remember being in his office when he called and was like, yeah, like my salary makes up what you want to make up. So like, just lay me off. And he was told that wasn't an option. So when he ended up actually retiring, I always joke that he saved my job. His retirement saved my job because I was the lowest seniority at that point.
Wow.
I want to talk a little bit about all the extras that you do because I think it's sort of unsung and we've done episodes in the past, right, Michael? We've talked about the extras,
Yes.
but I'm not even just talking about coaching. I want to talk about like when people come to these football games on Friday or any of the basketball games or anything where there's displays at these sporting events, both the stadium, the video board at the stadium, and as well as the table at the basketball/volleyball games, right? Or soccer games, any of these things, the marching band, we had senior night, all of those slides, Erin does. And it's not easy. It's tedious, I think is the word I want to use. It's not that it's necessarily like hard as like, once you get into a routine of doing this, I mean, the technology does a lot of it, but it's tedious and frustrating and annoying when it's like changes have to be made and all this stuff. And it looks perfect every night. And everyone just comes and expects it to look perfect. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you ended up getting into this? You obviously like it because when people ask, I mean, like everyone else, we're going to sort of like roll our eyes and groan about having to do something, but you like it, I think. And I think like most of us that do stuff in education, you like it because it's good for the kids, right? Like what we do for all
Yeah.
this stuff. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So back when I was coaching, I taught myself Photoshop and Illustrator because I hated doing shirt designs with a company because I would
Amen.
want
Yes.
something small changed and I would feel bad being like, well, just like try a different font. So I taught myself it so I could make all of our shirt designs. I help you with the student council one. And that's something that I was like, you know what, I'm going to learn. And as I started, yes, this one I made all of them. And as I kind of took the time and started learning all of that, I realized that I really enjoyed graphic design, which makes sense. I'm a technology person. It's something that I like. And so through time, it kind of developed that I was doing a lot of shirt designs and a lot of technology designs and just any type of graphics that came up. And so one day I was sitting in my room and Cobb Flesh walked in and handed me a laptop. And I was like, oh, what are we doing? He was like, hey, we got a video board, like the one that Wyandotte has. I'm going to need you to learn how to do that. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I sat in a training and it's just something that's really developed over time. The first year, it was very basic. We had the scoreboard up. We did like maybe a couple headshots of kids. We did a couple very stock graphics. And as I learned the program, I realized like the options are endless. Like we can really do basically anything that we want. And so it's something that has been completely self-taught and that I just really enjoy doing. Like you said, it's something that I like doing. We've tried to say like, oh, if you want something for Friday night, we need to have it by Wednesday because it does take time. But then when somebody comes to me Friday afternoon and they're like, hey, I have an idea, I'm like, well, I'm not going to not do it. So most days I spend as soon as practice ends at 4:30 on Friday, I go up in the press box. I finish making anything that I haven't gotten done and I program everything into the board because it's cool. It's something that like we go to away games and we stand on the sideline and I'm like, our graphics are better than that. Oh, that's a stock design. And anytime that anybody has something, I mean, it's something that we're immediately like, yeah, we have this idea. We sit in the press box every Friday, all of us, and come up with different ideas. And it's exciting to put the cool graphics up there. And we make jokes about when we can use different graphics and stuff like that. And it's just a cool show. It's something that the kids enjoy. It's something that, the fans enjoy. And I mean, honestly, but the year before we got it, I was finding ways to sit in the press box. And now it's something that like I couldn't imagine not doing on a Friday night during football season.
I think this year, like adding the out of town score bug, which was really cool. In the past, I'd always just announce those, and you end up if you're not listening, you miss whoever the first score is. It's now visually up on the board, just like when you go to, the big house or anywhere. And it's pretty cool to see, like around the Downriver League. Last week we had, the other district semifinal game up between Bedford and Allen Park, and then like you said, the special graphics for when something happens, a certain type of play or whatever. We have the jump around video that goes on there. That's really cool. I also you help. We have advertisements, obviously, that go up there. I just want, again, I want to, scream it from the mountaintops that that's a lot of work. So people that just think it happens, it doesn't. I mean, every kid had a slide for, the staff appreciation night, and we had the teacher up there. The band had their senior night this last week. That takes time, and I think that's a lot. Along with, Erin does, as again, we that's outside. As I mentioned, she does the stuff inside. She helps with clothing. Every time I do a shirt, we get a rough design and then she finalizes it up for me, which is great. And so I just want to, praise her for that. And she has a hard time saying no to stuff. Like, when we go to when she basically has been my partner for student council, because if we go to a state conference, they wanted someone else to go with me. And she's had to do all this stuff because it's not for the high pay. That's for sure.
So I have a couple other follow-up questions with you, and we could get to the other thing, but two things actually. Number one, is it awkward for you at all? How does that work with you interacting with? I mean, you had mentioned Clemente and all those guys, but how about just in general? Did you eventually get over it? How did that process play out for you coming back?
Yeah, I feel like it was awkward at first because I was 23, 20, 24 years old at the time. And I was looking at all of these people that I was like, well, you're my teacher and now we're coworkers. So I think that was difficult at first, but I feel like that's something that I got over within the first year. I was lucky enough that I had, like you guys that I was pretty close with, my department that I work with, I was really close with all of them basically right away. And so I was lucky enough that I had people that I could come to. And that was something with like student council. The very first year I went to POD after I was not doing anything and wasn't involved after my first year. And I was like, hey, can I help you? Like, I need to get involved in something. I need to do something besides teaching. And I knew that I had people that I was comfortable enough from just the relationships that I had with you guys outside. I mean, Gervasi, you were my coach. POD was my teacher. And it was just something that I knew that I had people that I was comfortable with that I could talk to, which helped. There were definitely some people that things felt awkward because maybe, I mean, I was a fairly good student, but maybe we didn't get along the best when I was a student. So there was a little bit of awkwardness in that, but I think that everyone does a really good job of like adapting and welcoming new teachers in. I think that we do a good job of that now. And I feel like that's something that we've always done a good job. Even, the older teachers, they were always like, yeah, if you need something, like we're here, we got you. So I think that went away pretty quick.
Second part, kind of follow up. So just to let the listener know, Mike mentioned how you do so many things, some of these tedious, mundane things. When I get in the booth, I become instantly an old person that doesn't know anything about technology. It's probably a learned helplessness that you enable.
Yes.
So, but my question becomes, it's sort of segueing into when is the point where you realize that your teachers are not they're human beings, and I mean, I joke with you because I do call you all the time for this kind of stuff, but in general, I remember I went back and subbed at some of my old schools, and it was like really shocking to me to see these folks in a different light. What was that like for you, where you see them as human beings now and they're not just, Mr. Jabasi or Mr. Peyote?
I think it happened right around the time of the Christmas party.
Yeah. I think back to my start, and that's where it happened to me too.
Whatever do you guys mean by that? I don't understand.
Well, yes, because I forget you're at midnight mass, right? But I think I don't mean to steal her question, but even like before that, like the first time going out after a football game or something, the first social, it really wasn't the Christmas party for me. It was like there was a football game. A couple people said, hey, let's go out to this certain bar. And all of a sudden, I mean, I can still remember having, and I didn't even teach in the middle school. Oh, I started in the middle school, but I coached with Kent Curtis. Like when all of a sudden Kent Curtis would always want to go to the bar after a track meet. And it was just a weird experience sitting with Kent Curtis, Tom Soley, and Wayne Ratliff from Shoemate Middle School. And like here I am, 23. So that's what it was for me. I don't mean to steal your thunder. It wasn't really the Christmas party. It was that first non-work setting.
Yeah, I think that you're probably right. It's like the first time that you're just kind of hanging out. Funny story to kind of go along with it. So my first year, I was Max's assistant coach for JV basketball. And he still, to this day, if you ask him, tells a story that like the first time that we went out to a bar after one of the games and, had some Cokes and some Pops.
Yes, Diet Pepsis.
He said that like I was sitting there and like I said a swear word or something. And he was just like, oh, you're like a person now. So it went
Oh,
from,
wow.
and I
Okay.
feel like it's the exact same way on the teacher side, right? You're sitting there and you're like with all these people, and then all of a sudden somebody says something, and you're like, oh, so this is where we're at. We're all just people.
Yeah,
Okay.
excellent. That's a great answer. Anything else, Mike?
No, I think that, I mean, those are some of the things this kind of follows up to, I do want to mention, Deontay had that idea, and we still have to, we're going to have to follow up on this, whether it's, maybe even next week, how our kids felt coming to the school. This is kind of like that type of question adjacent, so to speak, you know what I mean? Where you find out those same type of things in her case
Yeah,
coming back,
and like I don't know how, but like I never really had that conversation with either of my kids. I sort of said, "This is there was like never even a discussion of sending them somewhere else or anything. It's sort of like this is what's happening. You're going here." And I never had, through 4 years, never said, "Hey, how's it going? Is everything all right?" Like
No,
it's just
it's interesting for me. My kids didn't like it more in the middle school. I think now that, we're more accessible to one another, Natalia, she's in 12th grade now. I think it bothered her for a little bit in high school, but it was much more bothersome in middle school. And I remember Melina saying in middle school, I hate being in the same district as you, but now she comes up to me all the time in the halls, gives me hugs. So
yeah.
it's, I think you just get used to all this stuff.
I know my kids didn't like it a little bit in elementary because of the quick reach out. So like, and mainly
Yeah.
more Nate than Chloe. But like if they ever got in trouble, I knew about it before the day was even over. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Not like big trouble, but trouble that, whereas, and the line always used to be like, kids did much worse there, but because I held them to a higher standard, that they would get blasted. I think they didn't like that part.
I just remember Nate's freshman year on the
You
field
see 'em.
trip. As it turns out, he may have been a little more guilty than let on, but man, you lit him up.
I blasted him, and he was always blasted more than blast first, ask questions later.
Yeah, right.
All right, well, hey,
However,
great.
I do have to say that I remember one time, Chloe's senior year, something about coming back from one of the Downriver League meetings.
Oh no, it was the
And she
reading
was
visit. It was the
sitting in
reading
my
visit.
class,
The
the
reading
reading
visit.
visit. And she was sitting in my class and was like, I'm going to get in so much trouble. And I'm like, what's going on? And she's telling me about it. And I'm like, yeah, your dad's going to be
Yeah,
mad
they
at you.
went to Taco Bell. Yeah, some real bad kids. Chloe, I think Shubham and Shlok Patel. Some real.
Man, when it was
Yeah. All right. Well, great. That's great. Overrated, underrated this week is the card game. Mike, you're handling the topic.
let's change. Well, so we'll change the order. Then I'll throw them at you, Mike. You go first. Aaron goes second. I go third this time.
However you want to do it. You're in charge. You're handling it.
Okay, this is totally random. So here we go. The first.
We're declaring if this is overrated, underrated, and why, just like we normally do, once a month. Take it away.
All right, here we go. This is an interesting one. Driving late at night.
Younger me, underrated. Older, current me, especially if it's raining, highly overrated because I can't see a damn thing. So
Yeah.
I know I'm sort of riding the fence, but underrated when I was younger. And even if I'm older, if it's dry, but if that ground's wet and it's raining, I probably shouldn't even be on the road.
Okay.
I'm going to say underrated. I love a good music and an evening drive. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm with you. So many times in my life, it's kind of, it frees your mind, especially with the accessibility of any music you want now. So I'm with you. But unfortunately now, and this isn't going to sound really good, but there's times where I truly feel like when I'm driving at night, there's a certain amount of driving on instinct that kicks in because I just can't see anything. So drivers beware, if I'm driving at night, freeing my mind, I can't see a damn thing, but we're getting by.
Like I said, every once in a while I've had to like go take Chloe back before she had a car, like take Chloe to Ann Arbor, like take her back or pick her up. I love doing it at night. Like, and to me, it's like the perfect length of a drive. It's a nice drive from where I am down through Carlton, 275. And I that 40 some minutes, I put a good playlist on, some yacht rock essentials. And so as long as it's not wet and raining, I'm underrated.
I was gonna say I just got to do this coming home from cross country state meet. And
Yeah,
that was
that's a beautiful ride.
yeah. And it was like the best thing because it was like, everything for the last how many months was leading up to this. And I did it coming home from the track state meet. It's like I get an hour, 2 hours to just like decompress. Like it's dark. There's not many people on the road. You got your music on and you're just like decompressing from everything that has happened. And it's peaceful.
Okay.
All right. What's your next one, Mike?
All right. So this is, again, totally random. I just sort of mentally went through a series of numbers. So here we go. This is a truly tough one. Walked on the beach.
Easy. Overrated. It is overrated. It's romanticized. It's a mess. You get sand all over your feet, then you like rinse off your feet at the shower thing, but then they still get sandy when you're walking over there. I hate jellyfish. Always got to watch out for jellyfish out there. If you're walking along there. I walk every day. We know this. There are many other places I'd rather walk. It's not good. You're in hot sand. Way overrated. Easy.
This
Aaron?
is super easy too. So overrated. I hate sand with such a passion. When I was little, I used to go in the water and make my dad carry me to the car so I didn't get sand on my feet.
Yes. See?
Because I hate it so
Yes.
much.
So many better places to walk. Many better
Nope.
places.
So overrated.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to agree. I'm not going to say so overrated because there's some positives to it. I think the sounds of the beach are outstanding.
Hopefully there's a bike path by it. You can still hear the sounds.
You can, you're right. And I'm with you on sand. And sand ends up everywhere and it's beyond irritating. So I'm with you on most of what you said, especially Mike in this case. Like you always find the negatives in things, but that it's true. So I'm going to go with overrated, but just not, you guys are like 11 out of 10 on this one. I'm more like probably a 7 or 8, but
there are
either
gonna be
way,
people that are shocked because
boat.
you like see a beach, like everyone think, but that's what I think. I think this is where like Aaron and I are clearly saying it's bad, but this is where I think where overrated really works too. Even if you think a walk on the beach is nice, it really is an overrated walk compared to other walks.
Agreed.
Agreed.
All right. Those are good ones, Mike. Nice job.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. Hot mic take. Aaron, do you have something for us that you just want to get off your chest?
There's so many things.
Wow.
Let it out. That's what
My
we're here
hot
for.
mic take is, have we made it through football season? And will we make it through football season without bickering in the press box on a Friday night?
I am making I've been very good this year. My two things have been very minor compared to previous years. I'm going in and I'm on a new path of not getting angry about things. And I can attest that there'll be nothing that ruffles my feathers this Friday.
I won't be there. First off.
Oh,
that's right. We got our
I just remembered
third
that.
string.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, you were clearly trolling Aaron a couple weeks ago, and not
I feel like he was a
Aaron
little
took the
bit
bait.
crabby last week too.
You were. We got there. You were the very dark cloud.
It was Halloween. I was getting into the holiday spirit.
Okay. Unfortunately, but hopefully we'll get another game, right?
Well, if we win something else, the other team, there has to be another loss on the other side. If not, we might be heading to South Lyon. Is that where we'd head to?
That's why I said hopefully, but yeah.
Yeah, we'd have to do a food concession stand review up there.
36 minutes it took and 12 seconds to.
Oh yeah, we got a running clock on this. That's what's nice about this little. All right, hot mic for me, or do you want to go, Mike?
I'll go. We'll let you go last. I'm sure you want to plug your TikTok and talk about how you were Mike of the Week once on this show too.
Yes.
Stickers with me. So I actually two things this week. First, I want to make a correction. We talked about our favorite episodes. I'm going to go with Adriana. We talked about her last week, but I think that one, just in reflecting on it, I wanted to address that one a little bit
Yeah.
more. It was
On
such a good
election day,
conversation. Yeah,
ironically.
right. And I think that's probably why I was thinking about it. I actually tried to get my daughter into her nail salon today. Didn't quite work out because they're so busy, which is cool. But the conversation was so good, we continued it off the air. I want to go with that just to kind of mention that. That's number one. But my hot mic. So I'm gonna puff my chest out a little bit and tell you that I am trying to solve, as I've mentioned before on this show, my fear of needles. All right. And, there's other fears that I have that have reared their ugly head recently. I don't know if I mentioned this, blowing the snake out of the garage. Not my finest moment, but I did feel manly starting that thing up and firing that snake out. But I'm doing this, and again, no shame in my game here, exposure therapy regarding needles, okay? And before, I would not have been able to get through, and this is a long process, but I would not have been able to get through, and I still haven't, but a 1:31 video of a blood draw, which starts with a discussion about it, continues into the tourniquet, the taking out of the needle, and then the needle injecting into the arm. I got to the needle injection, or the needle going into the
I can't
arm.
believe you're talking about all
I'm
this.
feeling so good about myself, and it was really, really traumatic getting through it, that part of it. But it was a victory, and man, I feel so damn good about it. Because I'm really
impressed.
trying. So I wanted to mention that. I'm sure a lot of people throughout the years of my life have kind of taken part of this with me. I've mentioned it on the show in the past. I'm not ashamed of it. I want to beat it. There's still a long way to go. I don't know if I'm going to make it through, but I got through a step that a year ago, man, I never would have thought I would have made it. Dr. Freddie Wyatt has helped me. And like I said, I watched the needle go into the arm. I still haven't been able to get the blood draw out yet. But again, I would not have been able to do this. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. And shout out Elizabeth Pate on this one. She sent me an article the summer of, I believe, 2023 about exposure therapy, which at least I had heard of it before, but it turned me on to it a little bit. The article was really cool because it drew an analogy to driving on the freeway. When you first start, you're afraid of it, and then the more you expose yourself, the better you get. So yeah, I've gotten through about more than half of this video actually, and I'm getting there. So little pat on the back for me.
Baby steps. And well, since you
Yeah.
did that, I will just say that shout out to our blood drive team. They had the blood drive last week. They did a great job. The Red Cross was there. I donated, and again, in breaking news, they don't pick your finger anymore for the. And I think I said that when we recorded last week, but they don't prick your finger for the hemoglobin test anymore. They put a device on your finger, and it reads it.
This is actually the first year that I have not attempted to donate. Normally I do, and I get turned away because
you wouldn't even have the finger prick this year. They would have just put that on there and told you no.
Yeah.
Okay, this is apolitical. I want to start off by saying that, as we know, as most people know, SNAP benefits are off for the month of November. All the odds. I just want to say that all the negative stuff I see online about people that get these benefits, I hope to God that me, you guys, any of my family never need to have these benefits. Okay. And that's my hope. And people that do need them, I'm sorry for, and please donate to food banks and this sort of thing. A safety net is so important. And what I'm seeing online, we talked last week about online and nastiness, the pitting against each other, it breaks my heart, because do people abuse things? Yes. People abuse things at the top of the food chain and the bottom of the food chain. You can't focus on that. If you're in a blessed place where you don't have to worry about this, be thankful for it and do what you can do. Because man, and I don't mean to inject a little humor into this. Obviously, I'm not going hungry by the looks of me, but I could never imagine the pain I could feel for people that are honestly going hungry. That could happen in these weeks, which is going to happen. It's going to happen no matter what your political leanings may be. This is going to happen to people, and certain people, right? Thankfully for the meals at school for kids that are school age, if you're angry because you see or hear people abusing the system, don't be angry about I guess you can be angry about them, but don't implode a whole program because of what you see a few places, right?
16 million kids. Like, what could you're right. This is not political. Yes. 16 million kids don't care who you voted for. So
and if there's 100 people getting it and 40 people are abusing, I'm just using numbers like I always do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like ratios. And if 40 people are abusing it, they don't really need it, or they're buying things that I'm not getting or whatever, but 60 other people are, or even if it's inverted. I don't even care if it's inverted. If there are people that have to have it needed, I don't care. I don't care. And we talked about this before. I'm sure there's other parts of my federal income tax and state income tax that are going places that are probably being abused or not looked over that well. Tis what it is. Kash Patel flew a private jet to go see his girlfriend sing the national anthem. Okay, so good for him. I don't know, whatever. The money's gone. It's out of my check anyway. But please, like, people eating should be the least of the concerns. And I don't mean to be all down and serious, but it's something that I obviously I don't want to see people hungry, but I also just hate the pitting against each other of all these things that in the grand scheme of things, I think someone pointed out too, and my data may be off, depending on how much you make, we're not talking like, it's not thousands out of your check over the year. Okay. It's a very small amount on your check.
And the awful things, you mentioned it, the awful things being said, the cruel, racist at times, covert, but these coded, like, come on, man. I'm with you, Mike. I'm glad you brought it up. This is probably the most political I've been on the show, but I just have, it's sad. It's just another example of the polarization that exists within our society. I'm glad you brought it up. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, food is a simple thing. I mean, when you think about, like, when things go wrong in other countries, right? Or like things we've done like for Africa and other places, or Haiti, it's expected, right? Like, to get food to these places, it just is what it is. All right, enough of that downer. It's time for our picks, Gary Bailey. Good news, bad news. What do you want first, Mike?
Let's go
You want
bad
the
news.
good news?
No,
Oh, you want the bad news? The bad news is we were 0 for on the NFL again last weekend.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
We were 0 for on the NFL.
I let you bully me into the Steelers pick because I had a week before that agreed with you fully that they were going to beat the Colts.
But I had also said watch them lose to the Packers and come back and beat the Colts. But I did pick the Colts. So the bad news is we went 0 for on the NFL. Double bad news, there's no college games to pick this week. State can't lose. Michigan can't lose. We did talk about this at work, and I want to say it right now. State is awful. Michigan is not good. Okay, and Ren Dog, I know you're going to get angry, but being a state of Michigan man, I'm being straight and honest with you. State is awful. Michigan is not good. That is where we are right now.
7-2 is not good.
They're not. They are not.
Man, that Purdue game was way too close for comfort. Good Lord, that was.
I'm not watching. They're probably going to beat Ohio State.
Can I plug the Pistons right now before we get to? They're 5-2. Malik Beasley looks like he might come back, so they're looking pretty good.
All right. So let's get to our NFL games. The Lions are at Washington, who is now just imploded. Talk about a great break for the Lions just when they need them most. Who do you got? Yep. Erin, we'll go with you. Ladies first.
Oh, the Lions. They have to come back. They have no option but to.
Mike?
Yeah, I mean, Erin's right, and you just said it. You could not get Washington at a better time. It's amazing. In January, so a mere 10 months ago, Dan Quinn, right? That's the coach. Is that his name? Am I getting it? Okay. I keep thinking Daniel Snyder. That was the old owner.
The old owner.
But yeah, how like people were praising him so much. Now this guy is on the hot seat. He left Jaden Daniels in a game that was a blowout. Daniels blew out his elbow. That team is clearly imploding. So the Lions really needed this after last week. Do we have an update on what the Lions did at the trade deadline today?
That'd be nothing. Same as nothing. The Steelers.
Same as I mean, the Tigers even did more. They didn't do anything that was worthwhile, but they did, like, dear God, man. But anyway, they're going to win this one. They'll win pretty easily.
Yeah, they are going to win. But this also goes back to what we talked about with the Lions a few years ago in San Francisco. Nothing is guaranteed. Being good the previous year and doing something in the playoffs does not mean you're going to go a step further the next year. Washington's a perfect example of this. Yeah, they beat the Lions at home. They went on to that and played Philly well in the NFC Championship game. Oh, that means they're going to be back to the NFC Championship game next year. No, they're probably not even making the playoffs this year. So
it'd be shocking if they did.
And like what's going on in the NFC North right now, the Lions, it could be a 50-50 coin flip right now, in all honesty, because everyone's right there.
Everybody's there. Yeah.
Yep. So again, I'm taking Detroit as well. Pittsburgh goes out west to LA to play the LA Chargers. I'm not going to pull like what my dad used to do with the Baltimore Colts and call them the San Diego Chargers. Erin, who do you got? Pittsburgh at LA. Word on the street is LA is down both of their starting tackles.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so I want to say LA because I may or may not have a future bet on.
Okay. Family friendly.
Family friendly.
Yes.
But
Entertainment purposes only.
I don't know with what they're
Sunday night
down. I
football
think I
too
have
as
to
well.
go
That's Sunday
Steelers.
night football, I believe. It's the night game on Sunday.
I think I got to go Steelers on it. I don't want to, but I think I have to.
Mike?
That West Coast trip is always tough, but
But there's a night game. That helps out. That helps
it
out
is
that it's the
different. You're
night
right.
game.
You're right. And the Chargers are banged up. It's not just the tackles, the top 2 running backs. I'm gonna go Pittsburgh.
I'm going to go Pittsburgh too. I think
Trifecta. Wow.
I had buried them. I know I buried them after the Green Bay game, but then their defense is back. And I think that going out west, they seem to play well against the Chargers. I know teams change all the time, but I think that's where we go. Rendog gets mad when we don't do this. Carlson is home. Friday night, we'll be back in the booth. Well, Erin and I will be in the booth. They are home to Bedford, who beat Allen Park. Sorry, Allen Park duo. Beat Allen Park. Carlson has a chance to win back-to-back districts, correct? So we don't pick high school games, but should be a good game. I think Carlson's the favorite going into the game, like if there were favorites. But Bedford's not going to be. They handled Allen Park pretty well, and they play in a tougher league than overall than the Downriver League.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If I may, since I'm not going to be in the booth, can I make a pick?
No, we're not going to pick high school games. But also, I do want to say, I will give a shout out to the Downriver League though, because Trenton won, beating Max Bailey's Thurston team, and Woodhaven with a huge upset over in Belleville. So that's good. Whenever the playoffs start, unless they're playing in us, I always like to see the Downriver League teams do well because that reflects well on what you did in the league. And if you went undefeated in the league and Trenton went on to win their first round game and Woodhaven won theirs, now both of those teams are playing very tough teams in round 2. But again, they won their first round games, and what some people say will be an upset in both of them.
Do you think the Warrior Way did anything on their podcast about their upset victory?
I don't know. We'll have to see how long that episode took.
I know neither of you are hockey fans. Well, a little bit Pittsburgh, but I will be at the Wings game against the Blackhawks on Sunday.
Cool.
So we're hoping for a Wings win then.
Nice. The Wings off to a good start.
Good start, yeah.
Penguins off to a good start too. Both surprising for both of those teams. So who knows? Maybe we're heading back to another 08-09 final. Oh no, they're in the same conference now. That can never happen again.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That used to be when the
I was going to
Wings
say,
were
do we need another newspaper bought? Wasn't that?
No, they would only be able to play in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's what it's called now, right? So, all right. Well, Erin, we want to thank you. You've been a fan of the show. You've been a partner in the show. And once we start getting paid, and by the way, good news is this site has nothing to do with Gibraltar School District. So if I wanted to throw some ads in here, Dr. Rice.
Oh man.
Yeah, look at that. This is not on Gibraltar School District Zoom anymore. Maybe it's time. We go big.
We can start monetizing that and your TikTok.
Monetizing who will be our first advertisement. We'll have to wait and see. Mm. So maybe we'll monetize the first one. We'll have Dr. Rice on as a guest. All right, everybody. Oh, but hey, so that brings us to this point.
Oh, yeah, come on now. Yeah.
So the next week, and we're doing it a week from the night is when we're recording, the 11th, we're recording this on the 4th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will put a link. It's Riverside. There's this long set. My name's in it, right? Like you guys saw it. My room. You'll click that link. It's not software you download. It just opens in your web browser. I don't know what it looks like on a phone or a tablet. I'm assuming it works. We don't know. So you may want to be on a laptop, but I assume it would work on a tablet if it has a camera or a phone. If not, I don't know what to tell you.
We'll adjust and we'll make it work. It'll be fine.
Well, we're not going to adjust. They're going to have to adjust. We're using this.
Well, we're the host, so we got to make it comfortable for them.
And I got to figure out a waiting room. Hopefully we get a waiting room. I can supposedly put 8 on at a time. So this could be crazy. It's going to be crazy, but we're going to do our best. But Erin, thank you for being a great trial run with this. It looks like it worked. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't upload immediately and the episode is on Election Day, November 4th.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I know that I bullied you a little bit, Gervasi, the other day, but
there was no bullying.
Being a guest.
No, we needed to have her on. We did. So, all right, everybody. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week for the big anniversary episode. We'll see you next week.